Alright, people, so I just want to make a video stating that America is already in martial law. Um, a lot of people are saying, oh, like I wanted to make this video as kind of a little bit of a response to the people who say, oh, Jade Helm is to bring in martial law, or, people are, alleging that, like more of the mainstream news is saying, "Oh, you people think Jade Helm's going to bring in martial law." Well, in a way, martial law is already present here in America. Now, I don't think that Nazi Germany martial law is happening right now, where people are being hauled off to concentration camps and shit like that. That's not going on. But there's definitely a stripping of our rights, a violation of our civil liberties. I mean, if you look through all the fucking amendments, I mean, the First Amendment, I mean, we clearly see, you know, they are targeting free speech now. They're coming after free speech, coming after your private property rights. I mean, if you look back to the Bundy situation, they had First Amendment zones set up. I mean, how more unconstitutional can you get than that? I mean, a lot of times, and I mean, if you look through the FAA, you can't fucking even swear on AM or FM radio, or you can't say certain words. That's a violation of the First Amendment right there. So I mean, they're clearly moving to take away your right to free speech. So I mean, and if you look at the Ferguson situation too, they were going after peaceful protesters, going after reporters. Look at what happened with Al Jazeera. They fucking threw fucking tear gas at their fucking set and then dismantled it. Total violation of the First Amendment right there. Just again, it's Nazi Germany esque. Um, so I mean, and then we go to the Second Amendment. There are totally many areas in the country where we can't even carry, fucking assault rifles. Where our right to bear arms is restricted. Where there's background checks. There's people calling for a total ban of assault rifles. There's people calling for, background checks. And I think a background check is totally unconstitutional because. You don't have to go through a background check to use your First Amendment right, do you? No, you don't. So, I mean, there's people just calling for all these gun regulations and shit like that, all these assault weapons bans, and, I mean, there's clearly a move to take away our guns. I mean, Dianne Feinstein says, if I had the opportunity to take away Americans' guns, I would. Um, so, I mean, and then if you look at, just shit that just like little smaller shit, I guess you could say, on a smaller scale. I mean, you always hear about people, like I've covered many stories where people get their kids taken away because they let them walk to school, or they let them walk to the park by themselves. They're moving to fucking like force you to take vaccines, force the kids to take vaccines, which, I mean, you have a right to your body. You as a parent have a right to put into your child's body whatever you want. I mean, how far is this gonna go? I mean, you could argue, you can make the argument, oh, it's best for the children to get vaccinated. Well, what are we gonna force? The food that these kids can eat. Are we gonna, should the government, get involved with the food these kids should eat too? I mean, it's crazy. No, the parents should have a right to raise their kids how they want. And I've covered on this channel too many times of how vaccines can be dangerous too. Um, and then, I mean, if you look at your private property rights, there's been a move to take those away. I mean, there's been stories of people fucking putting tree houses in their backyards, and then then the neighbor complains and they have to get them taken down. I mean, the sewage line in this woman's house backed up or some shit like that. It ruined her house, so she lived in a tent. Then she refused to hook back up to that same sewage line. Then the city came and said, we're evicting you or some shit like that because you're not allowed to live in a tent on your own fucking property. And I mean, if you fucking, want to do something to your house, like even like knock down something, add something to your house, you have to go through the city to do it first. I mean, there's just so many little things where the government is just taking over our lives, trying to control us, and it's just making me sick. How, I mean, and also let's look at the TSA. Totally unconstitutional. There, the Fourth Amendment says you have to have a reason, a legitimate reason to search or seize something, and also a warrant too. Yeah, a warrant. And I view myself as my own property. I view my bags that I bring onto an airplane as private property. So what cause, what probable or reasonable cause does the government have to search me while I'm getting on an airplane? There's no probable cause there at all. All right, there isn't. They don't have a probable cause to assume I'm a criminal, but I'm treated like one, right? Yeah. I mean, if you look at the NSA collecting information on us, again, totally unconstitutional. Again, the government has to have a warrant to collect information on me. To collect, if I call somebody at fucking 4 o'clock, and even them recording who I call is a violation of my Fourth Amendment too. I think because that's my property. That's So I don't think they should even be able to look at who I call, when I did it, and shit like that. All right. So that's, I mean, just on numerous fronts, there's violations of all our amendments. I mean, NSA, the TSA, just all of them just shitting on our constitutional rights, and people don't even give a shit. I mean, you people really have to fucking wake up. I mean, it's getting really ridiculous now. So, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I just gave you many fucking examples of how the government is intruding on our rights, and this is just off the top of my head too. There's many more. I go over them all the time on this channel. I mean, of the government just, like I remember I made a video a long time ago how a student was fucking, uh, she was suspended for saying "bless you." I mean, just fucking ridiculous. I mean, you got Michelle Obama telling, kids what to eat, and it's just fucking crazy. The shit the government's trying to do, how big it's getting. When our government was formed, it was only like, I think, 50 employees. Now it's like 2 point some million. I mean, it's just crazy. And yeah, so there you go. I mean, we already are I wouldn't say, again, we're not in full-on martial law. We're not in Nazi Germany martial law. But we are definitely in a form of martial law where our rights are being taken away. And it's more of a secret, it's more of, I think, a secretive thing, or, it's not reported on as much in the media. It's not as open as it would be in Germany, because I don't think they've convinced the public yet. There's not enough of the public who is, willing to go along with this, I don't think yet. There's too many people like myself who are watching the government, who are awake, and I think another big reason is because we do have the Second Amendment too. I mean, do they really think they're going to take us over and take away all our rights if we have guns? No, they're not. So that's a reason too why I'm not really too afraid of anything that the government's going to do, because I know we have the Second Amendment, and it's going to be and we also have the that's one thing too. We have the military too. If they don't have the military on their side, then they're fucked. The military is a huge fucking thing that we have to pay attention to. With the military comes power. If you don't have the military on your side, if Obama doesn't have the military on his side, then he's fucked. Or if the global elite don't have the military on their side, then they're fucked. All right. I mean, the military, I think, is definitely on the side of freedom, and I don't think that they would go along with killing Americans who are innocent, or putting them in FEMA camps or shit like that. So, or taking away guns. I think a lot of them would rebel. So, there you go, people. There's your video on how martial law is kind of already here. I mean, and it will go on to, some people might say, oh, I don't feel affected. I don't feel affected. Well, you will be. I mean, you will be. So, I mean, yeah, keep watching your sports. Keep eating your shitty foods. Keep doing whatever you do. But, I mean, seriously, wake up, all right? Because, I mean, first, it might be, you want to you want to make an addition to your house, you want to plant a tree, you want to do something, and then, you know, you plant it, the government comes in and says, oh, you know, that's going to cost you $10,000 or some shit like that, or you violated an ordinance or some shit. And then it's going to be, you know, then it's going to be more extreme. It's going to, so I mean, it's going to be a gradual thing that they're going to try to do. It's not just going to be, oh, you know, we go right to freedom to Nazi Germany. No, they're going to have to gradually, you know, put it in. So, I mean, just wake up, people, all right? Wake up before it actually is, you know, in full swing, you know, before martial law is in full swing, because there's definitely a move to take away our guns, take away our, you know, just basic civil liberties. So there you go, people. I'm just going to end this video here. I don't want to blabber on for fucking forever. But there you go, people. Martial law is kind of already here in America. Our rights are being taken away. You know, First Amendment, Second Amendment, you name it. So there you go, people.